Jayshawn Tate gets a lot of love down low, but Trevor Thompson is stealing some headlines right now for Ohio State.
As well he should. Look, his activity changes the game on both ends of the floor for Ohio State. I think he needs to be kind of the heart and soul of this team. They need to follow suit. On the other end, Derek Pardon getting back into this lineup, kind of getting his legs back, getting his timing right. He's been great as of late. He needs to have a big game to get his guards going today.
Well, the guards, Brian McIntosh and Jaquan Lyle, those guys are front and center here this afternoon.
Look, Brian McIntosh has two other great guards in Scotty Lindsey and Vic Law, but he ultimately needs to be the guy that gets things going. On the other end, Jaquan Lyle, he has all the potential in the world. If his energy level could match his potential, this guy's a stud.
Brian McIntosh coming off a double-double in the blowout win against Iowa a week ago. And now here we play from Columbus. And Northwestern puts their offense front and center to start.
Northwestern does some things offensively, particularly with these dribble handoffs that puts you in a tough situation. Interesting to see what Ohio State does here, leaving Bryant McIntosh for an open look.
Wide open, and he knocks down the three to open up the ball game.
And that's not the guy you want to leave, especially because Bryant McIntosh, yes, he's had his struggles, but if you let him get going early, he changes the game.
McIntosh with 20 points on 9 of 11 from the floor. And there's Jayshawn Tate. Not necessarily his game to shoot from three, and I think Northwestern will give that to him all day. But there's your problem right there. Trevor Thompson down low.
You're going to give it to him all day, but you got to be careful. If Trevor Thompson has good rebounding position, he's going to get that more often than not.
Scotty Lindsey takes his first shot, and it's short. Scotty Lindsey has been terrific for Northwestern this year.
Yeah, Scotty Lindsey, just as a floor spacer with a guy like Bryant McIntosh, you will get open looks. It's all about knocking down open shots, and I think Scotty Lindsey's done a much better job working without the ball to put himself in position and not only make shots, but be a threat.
Double figures in every game so far this year. The reigning Big Ten Player of the Week. Vic Law nearly forcing the turnover. And Tate going to work down low on Lumpkin. Tough right-handed shot. He went up and under Sanjay Lumpkin.
Really had no room to work. Trevor Thompson was right behind him. And they forced him to go to that right hand on the other side of the basket.
It's going to be interesting to see who Lumpkin matched up with. As Jayshawn Tate forces the turnover. Lumpkin, the best defender for Northwestern. And there will be a foul on the screen of Jaquan Lyle. It's going to Northwestern down by a point.
He's really cleaning that play up. It's something that Northwestern does a lot with dribble handoffs, but you got to be careful. If it's a dribble handoff, it can't be a screen. You got to be careful how you roll into it. Whether you're setting a screen or not, you have to get set. They're calling it every single time, whether you like it or not.
Been doing it since the opening whistle of the season. Derek Pardon. Nice ball fake. Couldn't get the shot. And a foul down low. It's going to stay with Northwestern. Derek Pardon, as well as Gavin Skelly from the Cleveland area. Jaquan Lyle just picked up his second personal.
Yeah, and that's an issue, and it's not one that you really want to get. You're not getting the ball. You kind of push from behind. You hope you get away with it, but they saw it.
Fresh shot clock for Northwestern as well. Brian McIntosh off the mark on that three. Another offensive rebound for Northwestern. Underrated, but a very good offensive rebounding team this year in the Big Ten Conference, Northwestern. Pardon, the southpaw, too strong, and Thompson hauls down another rebound.
Well, a byproduct of good offense and good offensive movement. You're going to pick up a charge there.
Out of control, Lumpkin draws charge number 1.
Yeah, count those. That should be a stat throughout the course of the day. How many charges does he take and how many charges does he try to take? But I always say, look, a byproduct of good offense is offensive rebounding opportunities, mainly because it gets the defense chasing. It gets the defense scrambling to a point where you're not in position to defensive rebound.
C.J. Jackson on the floor for Jaquan Lyle. Again, 2 early fouls for him in the first 3 minutes. See how this offense for Ohio State runs without him on the floor. 10 to shoot. Scotty Lindsey for 3. And a little short. He's missed his first 2 shots. Mark Loving, the hero from a couple of days ago for the Buckeyes, gives it up, and Cam Williams hits the baseline jumper.
I don't know if there's a better jump shooter in the conference than Cam Williams. It's really what he does. And you got to be careful to overcommit to that three-point ball fake, because he'll kill you from 15 feet with that pull-up jumper.
6-0 run for the Buckeyes. And Vic Law couldn't tie it up. Out of bounds, and it's going to go to Ohio State. It's a really intriguing matchup today, John. Again, Northwestern playing so well at the beginning of conference play. They do so many good things on offense, but defensively they can kind of lull you to sleep, but they're very aggressive too at the same time. Kind of a dichotomy.
It is a bit of a dichotomy, because it's somewhat of the pack line defense where they're not going to give you anything easy down low. They're going to protect the paint, particularly from the dribble drive, but at the same time they're assertive with it. Hard to say they're aggressive with it, but they're assertive with what they do defensively, and I think that assertion is what gives them confidence.
Forced another turnover. Vic Law, what a great addition he has been this year, healthy after missing last season, forcing the turnover from Ohio State.
And it's interesting to say, look, they're not going to force a ton of turnovers because of ball pressure, but they're going to force turnovers because you're going to dribble where there's nowhere to go. And at that point, that's exactly what happened. Kept the dribble alive, going nowhere, and you're forced to throw it away.
Already the 3rd turnover for Ohio State. Teardrop from McIntosh. Thing of beauty.
I would love to see you try that shot. People out there have no idea how difficult that is. All you YMCA All-Stars, go ahead and try that shot.
It'd take me 2 years to knock that shot down as Cam Williams turns down a 3.
That's what you got to stay on that guy's hip. You have to trail him on his hip, force him off of that line. Sometimes the NBA game, they actually trail that hard, where they force you to turn that thing inside. Sanjay Lumpkin gets one to go from 3.
Lumpkin doesn't shoot a lot, but he's accurate when he does. 1-point ball game. Ohio State's offense firing on all cylinders here early. Jayshawn Tate with a mismatch. Go across to C.J. Jackson. He misfires from 3. And a foul down low. I think they're going to get Vic Law with a personal.
Can't say enough about how good this guy is, how difficult he is, because you got to play the pass first. That heads up. He's looking for teammates, but he also gets that teardrop to go. That we're talking about them as an NCAA tournament team. Now, I also want to say that some of the production they've gotten and the execution they've had as of late, it certainly makes them look as if this is going to be the year. They're taking care of business. They're winning games late. They're starting strong, and I think those are certainly recipes for success in this conference.
Just look at what they did their last game against Iowa. I mean, just went out there and took them to the woodshed. They really did. It was really dominant.
It's a young Iowa team, so it's understandable that they're going to have some struggles defensively. It's a very good Iowa team, too. By the way, J.T. Barrett, man, that guy doesn't skip legs day. He's got to wear some looser pants, man. Those things were tight. How you walk in those things? This guy, I mean, he squat 1,000 pounds and put on some skinny jeans. That's crazy.
Trevor Thompson with a nice move down low. Come on, you're a skinny jeans guy.
Heck no, I'm too top heavy.
Not
muscle either, don't get me wrong.
McIntosh fires away from 3, a little short. Gavin Skelly swatted away by Loving. Mark Loving, the hero from a couple of days ago against Nebraska. McIntosh outsized. Then he picks up the foul, go back to the block by Loving.
Look, you saw 2 good things here. One good thing for each team. The offensive rebound because of good ball movement, but then Mark Loving and the length that Thad Matta talks about, the length that Chris Collins has concerns with, particularly from the guard position.
Mark Loving, the only senior on the roster.
This is where I'd like to see Trevor Thompson get the ball down low and make something happen.
Foul down low. Looks like they pick up Sanjay and Lumpkin. His first personal. And Lumpkin's going to head to the bench. And Derek Pardon checks back in.
It's interesting talking to Thad Matta before the game. Sorry for jumped on you there, but we asked him about Keita Bates-Diop and what that does to the rotation as you see a few reserves coming into the game. But He said it was more important in terms of what they lost defensively and that length. So interesting to see what they do on both ends here without Keita Bates-Diop.
One of those guys who's getting more minutes, Andre Wesson. As you see Keita Bates-Diop there, only a handful of ball games this year, 9 games, 3 starts. He's battled a couple of different injuries this season. Big loss for this team. Gavin Skelly working down low, the native just outside of Cleveland. Up and under, got blocked by Wesson. C.J. Jackson trying to dribble out trouble. Loving lost it on the way up. Pardon ends up with a loose ball. Numbers for Northwestern if they hurry. Scotty Lindsey and Cam Williams thought he had a clean strip.
I always wait to see the replay to make an opinion on it because it's usually when I can actually be accurate and right. Take a look at it. Yeah, he got a little arm in there. Let's see it from another angle. Well, I don't know. He got ball first, but definitely got a little arm.
Scotty Lindsey's going to go to the line. Career high 31 points at Penn State in the Big Ten opener this year. Knocks down the first free throw. It's been fun to watch him the last couple of years and the progress he's made as a player. Getting more aggressive and just with that aggression, being smarter with the basketball on the offensive end.
The other thing is confidence. It's amazing when you see guys grow in confidence and all of a sudden you go, oh, yeah, you could see he's got the potential. You could always see he had the potential. But as he grows in confidence, he starts to assert himself more, particularly on the offensive end, but even more so defensively.
Got a tough matchup with Mark Loving. They go right to that matchup. Loving got him up in the air, and Gavin Skelly over to help. And the loose ball and a foul. I believe they'll get Andre Wesson with a personal. Nice hustle that time by the freshman Isaiah Brown.
I don't know if you could see Chris Collins, but he was yelling at Scotty Lindsey in a positive way, in a coaching way, saying stay down. Don't fall for those shot fakes. Now, what you notice is a guy like Chris Collins says, we may give up a shot 5-10 feet from the basket, but we're going to make it a difficult shot. We're not going to allow it to be an easy shot by going for that pump fake.
Foul down low, and I think they're going to get Wesson again. That's back-to-back fouls within about 10 seconds of one another. Cam Williams was on the bench for all of about 13 seconds. He's back in.
Teams that don't foul do a good job staying ahead of the play defensively. So if you're picking up fouls, you're likely chasing the play. Should be a foul on Jayshawn Tate. He just absolutely grabbed Gavin Skelly.
A couple of different times as Vic Law short on the 3, gets his own rebound, and the layup is good.
Sometimes you miss so badly that you're the only person in the gym that can get the rebound. That's exactly what happened there for Vic Law.
Well, you know it when it comes out of your hand, whether it's going to be good or not.
Then you know when it's really bad.
Cam Williams.
Great pass.
Nice pass.
Great pass.
Micah Potter.
The first thing you do when that thing goes up is make sure everyone knows that was a pass. Shot a few air balls in my day that I tried to say were passes.
Vic Law tried to go up and underneath, and Potter was there to alter the shot. Law comes up and a little bit hobbled. Potter, another great feed. Jayshawn Tate had the feed.
Kind of point guard by committee with Jaquan Lyle on the bench. Tate's bringing the ball up. No one stops him or even applies pressure. He could pick out his pass, and Potter was wide open.
Scotty Lindsey misses on the 3. Skelly, and it's Vic Law that comes away with it. And from the elbow, Vic Law couldn't get the roll. Pardon, offensive rebound. No. Boy, Northwestern has had their chances. They are just 4 of 17 from the floor. Jayshawn Tate taking things into his own hands for Ohio State.
Well, if that's going to be the matchup, Jayshawn Tate going up against Derek Pardon. Look for Jayshawn Tate to put it on the deck every single time down floor.
Second 6-0 run for Ohio State here in this first half. Pardon backing down Potter. Right hand, no good. Ohio State pushing the tempo. And a nice piece of defense by Scotty Lindsey. And then Northwestern Kind of sloppy there, back and forth.
We have a timeout.
Ohio State playing well right now.
Well, sharing the basketball. Cam Williams doing a good job. Everybody knows he's a scorer. You just get one up at the rim and give your teammate an opportunity. Micah Potter on the receiving ends. It's a couple good passes.
He's here, especially today, with Jaquan Lyle picking up 2 early fouls, being helped off the floor by the training staff. We'll give you some updates as soon as we get them. Nathan Taphorn on the floor for the first time for Northwestern.
We saw what happened in Indiana, losing O.G. Anunoby. And we say good teams respond well to adversity, and great players redefine their roles when offered a new opportunity. So we always want to see how people respond.
Free to shoot. McIntosh, a good ball fake, and then Potter got a hand on McIntosh as the shot clock was about to expire, and McIntosh is going to shoot a couple free throws.
Whether it's a foul or not, you always have to be careful when you're trying to take a shot away from behind the play. And because he went for the shot block, he's coming from behind the play. And whether he got a little bit of ball or a little bit of hand, it's a foul that's often called.
You put a 91% free throw shooter on the line.
That's not bad.
Trevor Thompson's going to check in for Micah Potter. Quality minutes for him, though.
Well, Micah Potter did a good job running the floor and diving to the basket on the dribble drive. He can also shoot it. But having big guys that make good reads. I go back to Alex Ola last year. He wasn't the fastest guy, quickest guy. Had good feet, but they didn't move that quickly. He just went to the right spot. He made good reads, and that's what you saw from Micah Potter to start this game when he got in there. He just made good reads and got himself opportunities.
McIntosh with a couple of free throws. And it pulls Northwestern within 4. Lyle back on the floor with his 2 fouls. He got so quickly. Nice move by Lumpkin to poke it away momentarily from Tate. And the baseline jumper, Trevor Thompson is just taking his game to another level this year.
And that's another prime example of what I was just talking about. He relocated out when the dribble drive came into the paint.
Northwestern looking for some shots to go down. McIntosh leading the way for Northwestern. He has 9 points.
I think McIntosh is going to continue to put the ball on the deck and try to make something happen so long as Jaquan Lyle's covering him. Try to get him to pick up that 3rd foul.
McIntosh gets a personal foul as we see McIntosh again.
He's going to work off the ball to find himself a spot. And his spot right now with a little bit of a handoff ball screen. Martin just gets in the way and makes Jaquan Lyle make a decision. It's going to be hard not to foul. It is really so hard not to foul these days. I mean, you put your hand on a guy, it's a foul. But it makes it difficult.
McIntosh on the bench as well as Scotty Lindsey. Jayshawn Tate trying to get some space. That's a really difficult shot around a great defender.
It's just such a high-level move. To have the patience and perseverance to just sit there, wait, take your time, use good footwork and vet skills to get yourself an open shot.
Averaging 14 a game. Jayshawn Tate, this very well-balanced offense for Ohio State. They've got 5 players averaging 10 or more. Brown high off the window.
People forget he's a flat-out scorer. I mean, that's what he was going to. I know it's probably the same for every single high major Division I guy with a scholarship. They probably all scored 30 points a game where they came from in the high school level. But he really is, I should say, was a scorer first. I think he's learned how to accept the role this year.
33.8 points a game for Isaiah Brown from Lakeside High School in Seattle. And this is a great move.
Look, and this is the challenge. If you're going to switch ball screens, Jayshawn Tate might as well be a 4 in that case. I know you can switch that, but it puts your big defender in a bad position because he's got to come up and take away the shot first and then slide those feet, stay in a stance, take away drive. Easier said than done.
Barrett Benson on the floor now. Replacing Derek Pardon. Step back, and the jumper good from Jaquan Lyle over Nathan Taphorn.
Yeah, he got a matchup that he liked. He was able to just work him down, got himself just enough space to get a little 15, 17-footer off.
6 straight field goals for Ohio State. Barrett Benson got the roll. This is a big question with this lineup that's on the floor right now. Vic Law, really your only true scoring threat if you're Northwestern. And a foul down low. I believe they're going to get Vic Law. Thought he had the steal. Instead, he's going to stay with Ohio State. 4-point ball game in Columbus. Always so unselfish with the basketball. Brian McIntosh, this is one of the best teams in their assist turnover ratio. Currently 6th in the country. Very unselfish and trying to claw their way back into this one, down by just 4 points. 7:45 to play in the first half.
You can play unselfish basketball when everybody on the floor understands that they're going to have an opportunity. They're going to be in the rhythm and the flow of this offense.
They get a foul on Barrett Benson, who was battling for the offensive rebound.
I think it's important to say, too, I mean, even you see Barrett Benson out there, really not a perimeter player. But Chris Collins and their staff, they do such a good job offensively of getting everyone involved. Everybody touches the ball throughout the course of an offensive possession, and just getting touches keeps you within the flow of the game, and it gives you at least the appearance or the feeling that I'm involved in this, so you're going to stay dialed in offensively.
Benson with a nice help defense, creating the turnover. Vic Law 1-on-3, takes it himself with the left hand.
Kind of quasi-Euro step, side step to get around that potential charge in transition, and they're showing the body control, the athleticism of Vic Law.
Vic Law with 4 points, couple of rebounds. Cam Williams, nice ball fake. And a little short on the shot. See how quick he is and how he's able to create space for himself. Scotty Lindsey high off the glass, and we're tied.
That wasn't an easy finish. He took off the opposite leg, and the only way to get that shot up was to just loft it up over the defense. Not a high percentage shot, but he got it to go.
A 6-0 run now for Northwestern. Lyle, the mismatch. He fires from 3. An offensive rebound by Loving. And there's a personal foul on Vic Law down low. Pat Fitzgerald in the house. Head football coach of Northwestern.
Does he not look like a football coach?
Yeah, he does.
He just looks, just looks like football. That's a compliment, too. If you're a football coach, you don't want to hear me say, doesn't he look like a cricket coach?
I feel like Pat Fitzgerald could go out there and still play linebacker.
Seriously.
Williams short on a shot there.
I'd listen for a minute.
And that's a guy, if he goes into a room, I'm listening to him, that's for sure. Isaiah Brown fouled on the drive. He's going to go to the line.
Isaiah Brown is giving Chris Collins more and more confidence to be able to spell Bryant McIntosh. And what that does for a coach, for a team, it's kind of immeasurable. To at least be able to trust, which means there are times where you might be able to let Bryant McIntosh stay in the game, play with 2 fouls. So if he's rolling, I want him to stay on the court. Why? Because I trust Isaiah Brown to give me quality minutes. And he just seems to get better and better with the more minutes he gets.
Non-conference play, he was playing a little bit, kind of easing himself into being a Division I basketball player. Once the Big Ten Conference has come around, his minutes have increased exponentially.
You also have to understand your spots on the floor, so where you get your opportunities. Because freshmen, when you start a season, every time you get the ball, you think it's an opportunity to score. So you can see the maturation, kind of the development of young guys as they figure out where they're going to have their spots to make plays.
Jaquan Lyle trying to take Scotty Lindsey to the right, and Lindsey got a piece of him. Not a big piece, but a little bit of one. Enough to call a foul. Lindsey picks up his first personal.
Covering Jaquan Lyle is such a challenge, first and foremost, because he handles the ball well. Secondly, he is physically superior than most. And anybody that's going to cover him, he can beat him.
Taphorn pulls down the rebound. Jaquan Lyle is such an interesting guy, John, because he's had questions about how he distributes the basketball. He turns the ball over a little bit too much. But this year, he's taken such great strides in how he protects the basketball.
I think there's always going to be something about a player like Jaquan Lyle that someone wants to pick apart. That's just the way it goes. When you're that good, when the ceiling is so high, when you come here as a freshman, people are going to pick apart your game. I think he's developed well. He's a tough cover. I just think, if anything, the body language could change. If he had really good body language, I think this team would really rally behind him.
Lumpkin hits the first. Coming up next, it's Big Ten Wrestling with Northwestern host number 13, Michigan. Coverage starts coming up after our ball game, presented by Cliff Keen Athletic on BTN and BTN to go.
Have you ever called wrestling?
I have not, no. It's not my forte.
That's about where my question ends then.
I think you'd be a good wrestling announcer, John.
I'll get there someday.
Lyle got Lumpkin in the air, lost it on the way up, though, and Isaiah Brown and Northwestern going the other way. Scotty Lindsey with the left hand. Biggest lead of the game for Northwestern, 4 points.
The Buckeyes doing a good job using pump fakes and ball fakes to get Northwestern off their feet. If anything, they've got to be more aggressive. If you get somebody to go for a pump fake, be aggressive with it, get into the paint, make something happen.
Lumpkin just sealing off the lane. Now a corner three, and Cam Williams brings the Buckeyes within one.
You guys see Chris Collins there in the background. He's just pleading his case, guys. Look, there's one guy on the floor. We are not going to leave you to see Scotty Lindsey limping off. Hopefully, just a knee knocker and nothing serious. Just slips a little bit. Yeah, that doesn't look comfortable. Right ankle. They're going to take a look at it. Hopefully, he's all right. But of anybody on the floor, you don't want to leave number 15 in white.
A three breaking a 10-0 Northwestern run. McIntosh back on the floor after an extended break. Finds Pardon down low, going to work on Thompson. The right hand, and before they'll call a travel. Pretty good move with the offhand from Pardon, but too many steps.
If Terry Weimer saw it, it was likely a travel. I didn't see it at first. I trust Terry, though.
Great officiating crew here.
It took me 36 years of my life to actually trust officials, but here I am.
Happy belated birthday, by the way, John.
Thank you, yeah.
Jaquan Lyle. And Jayshawn Tate just sealed off by Lumpkin. Cam Williams again open. Was too strong. Had a good look again. Lumpkin left wide open. He's 1 out of 2 from distance. Williams thought about it momentarily and then instead drives the lane and gets the easy 2. Timeout Wildcats as Ohio State is on the run.
Blackman, he's that guy. I said, look, good teams respond well to adversity. Great players redefine their roles. Well, James Blackman certainly seems to redefine his role every time he plays an important basketball game, whether it's Kansas, North Carolina, or losing OG Anunoby and needing to step up against Michigan State.
Penn State at the buzzer earlier in the week as well. Big week for James Blackman.
Dan Dockich made a great point, too. He said in that broadcast that guys remember. They remember those plays. And James Blackman, after hitting that big 3, certainly seemed to have that flow right into the next game. They certainly remember that, and they catapult off of it.
Going to be real interesting to see how Tom Crean is able to rally that group together. Missing the bunny there. Good to see Scotty Lindsey back on the floor after he was being attended to by the medical staff on the Northwestern bench. Trying to find some rhythm in the offense. There it is. Scotty Lindsey from the corner able to knock it down. Maybe the best possession offensively for Northwestern so far.
It was a bit of a broken play, but it did get inside. When it got back out, they immediately used a ball reversal to get it to the open man.
Nearly a steal by Scotty Lindsey. Mark Loving pull up three. And Pardon hauls in the board. Ohio State doing a nice job getting back on defense. Vic Law short. And here comes Jaquan Lyle, the Buckeyes. Wide open, Cam Williams. He's had a couple of really good looks, and he's grabbing at his right leg as he's on his way back up the other end of the floor.
You see a little bit of limp out there. You see Scotty Lindsey back in the game. He seems to be all right.
Neither team able to shoot yesterday here at the arena. Nice shot by Vic Law. There was a concert here last night, so neither team could practice either yesterday or this morning. Don't forget, State Farm halftime report coming up. Dave Revson, Stephen Bardo, and Mike DeCourcy standing by in Chicago. Under 2 minutes to play. Deshaun Tate sealed off by Lumpkin. Out of bounds, and it's going to go to Northwestern.
That's what I talk about. You get the ball in the lane. When it kicks out and you use ball reversal, you will find an open man. The defense had already converged. They're in scramble mode. The key is moving the ball quickly. How often do you see a guy catch, look at the rim, look at the fans, take a second, then throw the pass? Well, by that point, Scotty Lindsey's not open. Need ball movement. That's something that Tom Crean said when they lost Colin Hartman. See, great backdoor cut there and good find from Gavin Skelly. When they lost Colin Hartman, he said, we lost a leader, but ultimately we also lost a good ball mover. Someone that will identify whether he's got a shot or needs to move that ball quickly. And can't say enough about how important those guys are.
7-0 run for Northwestern. Built up a 6-point lead. Just over a minute to play. Lindsey doing a nice job defensively on Jaquan Lyle. Mark Loving driving and got it swatted away by Derek Pardon. Isaiah Brown kicks. Gavin Skelly hits the baseline jumper. Biggest lead of the game for the Wildcats.
And they do that very well. They take advantage of opportunities if you don't stop the ball.
Leads to a Buckeyes timeout. Thad Matta trying to get his team enthusiastic, get going. 8-point lead for Northwestern as we go back and look at that last play.
Hey, look at Scotty Lindsey. Here he is up top. He's going to use kind of man movement. We'll call it man movement. There's ball movement. Well, he used good man movement. All the action goes away. You've got to stay on his hip. Yeah, we talk about not allowing yourself to get screened. That's one thing, but if you are going to get screened, you got to stay literally on the hip of Scotty Lindsey, and better ball pressure takes that pass away.
That's why he is our Quicken Loans amazing performance. Just a phenomenal season this year. Double figures in all 20 games, including today. He's got 10 points already. Most since Evan Eschmeyer started with 24 consecutive games in double figures.
Yeah, at some point, as he came in, he might have been third, fourth option when you really think about it. He's no longer the third or fourth option, yet he still gets shots in this offense that you would think a third or fourth option gets. Open shots, and Scotty Lindsey has made you pay.
43.5 seconds away from our State Farm halftime report. Lots to talk about. Busy day in the Big Ten yesterday. Lone game in the conference here today. Jaquan Lyle from three knocks it down. He's been better this year from distance. Came in at 38%.
Started one good screen from Deshaun Tate. Got the defense out of sorts. As Gavin Skelly switched, then poor communication, and Jaquan Lyle got an open shot. All because of one good screen.
Now the second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Isaiah Brown taking it to Tate. Skelly keeping it alive. 1 second to go. Tate hauls it up. It misses. And the whistle did not blow.
Sanjay Lumpkin tried to take a charge. We knew he was coming.
Was looking for number 2. It's a 5-point Northwestern lead on the road. Big game for both teams. State Farm halftime report is coming up. Dave Rebs and Stephen Bardo. Mike DeCourcy standing by in Chicago. Stick around. We got a good one here in Columbus. Wildcats and Buckeyes. Just a 5-point game. John Crispin, Jeff Levering. This is it's a big game for both teams. Northwestern's up by 5. Ohio State's down by 5. What do you do from here for both teams?
Yeah, I think for Northwestern, you have to continue to execute on the offensive end. They made good adjustments, in-game adjustments that opened up the floor a little bit more, capitalizing on some switches. Now, for Ohio State, you've got to figure out how to get more easy baskets. And I think that comes down to one-on-one opportunities with Trevor Thompson and Jayshawn Tate down low. One-on-one opportunities that also potentially get you to the foul line and gain control of this game.
Cam Williams with 10 points for Ohio State as we get to our auto owners game leaders. Scotty Lindsey with 10 points. That's 20 straight to start the season for Scotty Lindsey, double figures. And again, Cam Williams with 10 points for Ohio State to lead the way. He's the only one in double figures. And you got to make sure you put a body on him behind the three-point arc if you're Chris Collins.
Well, I think he could have had 16 to 20 in the first half. He got himself a lot of good looks, and you have to understand, if you come off the bench for Northwestern, you have to understand personnel and know where Cam Williams is at all times. Wow, what a block.
Derek Pardon with yet another block. He's had 2+ blocks a number of times already this year at a season-high 6. A couple of games ago as Bryant McIntosh is off the mark. And here comes Cam Williams in Ohio State. Jayshawn Tate got it blocked again. And there was a foul down low, trying to get to that loose ball.
Ohio State, offensively, Ohio State's got to be careful and cautious when they try to get all the way to the basket and the defensive help is already there. You have to recognize the help, make the pass before the help traps you, because they've gotten themselves in some bad situations, leaving their feet and throwing some weak passes.
Fresh possession here for Ohio State. Haven't really heard from Mark Loving today. Jayshawn Tate able to get position using that body.
Once he gets position, he's got you beat. He'll pump fake you 13, 20 times until he has the right shot. He knows exactly when he's got enough space to get it up.
Tate has 8 points and 4 rebounds. McIntosh had it tipped up ahead. There's Mark Loving. And he's going to go to the line and a chance for a three-point play.
Wonder, guys in transition, if you're beat, you're Vic Law in this case, either foul so hard, I mean clean foul. I'm not saying foul so hard you put him in row 6, seat 7 on the baseline. Foul so hard that he can't get the shot up. And don't get me wrong, I made the same mistake in college, but you see it happen over and over and again.
First points of the game from Mark Loving. They're all tied up again, 36-36. A couple of good offensive teams, and the defense has been shining so far. Scotty Lindsey couldn't get the roll, and a foul is going to stay with Northwestern. They'll pick up Thompson. Beg your pardon, Tate on the backside.
It's because of good offensive action, and high school coaches, even college coaches out there, you have to think about this. If you have good action offensively, where you're flashing up high into ball screens and diving hard, the defense is chasing the play. You're dictating what you want them to do, which puts you in good offensive rebounding position.
3 fouls for Jayshawn Tate. He's got to go to the bench. Vic Law with a nice up and under. Couldn't get the shot. Out of bounds, going to stay with the Wildcats. It was Jaquan Lyle that picked up 2 early fouls in the first half. And Jayshawn Tate on the bench and being talked to from the assistant coaching staff for Thad Matta. McIntosh, very short. Lyle finds Williams, and his teardrop too strong. Vic Law comes in strong. And Northwestern is yet to hit a shot here in the second half.
They went through this in the first half, and they really relied heavily upon execution to get themselves good looks as that half went on.
Derek Pardon tried to seal off Thompson, couldn't do it. Northwestern finished the first half making 10 of their last 14 shots. 0 for 5 so far in this second half.
Trevor Thompson's a guy, if he can get position on you, he's really hard to stop. And kind of got lost at some point, then you're forced to play behind. If you're forced to play behind in a one-on-one situation with a good athlete, you're likely going to get beat.
Micah Potter can't leave him alone, but he missed the shot. Northwestern looking to run. 4-on-2 if they go. And Vic Law from the baseline short, and the shooting woes continue for the Wildcats. Nothing going right for Northwestern, but an offensive rebound, another chance. McIntosh fires away again. Finally gets one to go.
The second chance opportunities in the first half, they had a lot of offensive rebounds, 6+ on the offensive end, but it didn't lead to a lot of second chance opportunities. That time, 3 possessions, 3 chances to make a shot. Finally got one to go.
Now have 10 offensive rebounds in the game. Mark Loving from 3, rimmed in and out. And there will be a foul down low on Micah Potter, trying to get position on Vic Law, and that's the 3rd on Potter.
Again, I've made the point where if you execute well, if you cut hard, if you set screens, if you dive hard, if you seal hard, you're going to put yourself in position that when the shot goes up, you have a fair shot at getting that ball. All of a sudden, because you have position, it becomes a 50-50 ball.
That's what you talked about with Thad Matta before the game today, with Keita Bates-Diop unavailable because of injury. Foul trouble becomes a real problem. Trevor Thompson's okay, but Jayshawn Tate with 3, Potter with 3. Here's Pardon. And Thompson pulls down the rebound. Your depth really comes to the forefront.
Yeah, depth changes, and you also understand that roles change too. So the guys that are on the floor, their roles change because of the loss of Keita Bates-Diop.
Andre Wesson on the floor, had some quality minutes in the first half. But he's got 2 fouls too. 5 to shoot. There's Wesson, and he knocks down the 3. Andre Wesson from Westerville, Ohio. Dad played here at Ohio State, 1983 through 87.
So far, not exactly a hot start for either team. 1 of 9 for Northwestern, 3 of 8 for Ohio State.
Lumpkin short, out of bounds. It's going to go to Northwestern. Timeout on the floor. We're all tied up. Something's got to get hot. Maybe it's going to be Wesson.
Whatever you're going to do, you just got to step into it and shoot these shots with confidence. Wesson did just that.
In Columbus, all tied up. Scotty Lindsey with 10 first-half points. He's yet to score a point here in the second half. A cold start for Northwestern, just 1 of 10 from the floor. They're trying to stave off this Buckeye offense. Nice play out of the timeout, and a foul, and Lindsey's going to go to the line.
It's not too often you could say that Bryant McIntosh was a second late making the pass. Usually he anticipates it. Scotty Lindsey got so wide open. Decline coming off that screen, just put a little shimmy on Cam Williams, and pass was a split second too late.
Scotty Lindsey short on the first free throw. Northwestern at 4-2, best start in conference since 1967, 1968. We talked about earlier in the broadcast about all the pressures that Northwestern has in trying to get themselves into the NCAA tournament. Hasn't happened in program history. A lot of optimism around Chris Collins and his club. Here's Andre Wesson, and that one was a little bit of a heat check. Mark Loving now wide open. And a foul on Derek Pardon. Got a piece of Trevor Thompson, second on Pardon.
It's where if you're Derek Pardon, you do have to learn that there are some rebounds that your position can't get. If it's a long rebound, it's okay to concede it. It really is. It sounds weird. I know you got to fight for every rebound, but you're in position. It's just a long board. There's nothing you can do. Just hold your position and get ready to play defense. No reason to pick up that foul and put you on the bench.
Offensive rebounding, no Northwestern with 11 offensive rebounds, but they haven't been able to really take advantage of it yet. Great pass from Lyle to Thompson.
Yeah, Jaquan Lyle doing a great job of reading that. I mean, obviously Trevor Thompson's going to dive on the ball screen, but Barrett Benson doesn't have the experience covering ball screen situations, especially with a good point guard like Jaquan Lyle.
Lyle's done a nice job today. Inside, Gavin Skelly and Wesson. And then Thompson comes over. Someone's going to pick up a personal here. And they're going to get Thompson.
Chris Collins is telling Barrett Benson, hey, anticipate that, throw the lob. And he's right. But the young kid, really, you could see him probing. He knows he has the pass, but he doesn't want to force it. Still good execution.
Skelly hits the first. Follow the Big Ten Network on Instagram and get the coolest Big Ten sports content before anyone else. Follow BTN on Instagram now at Big Ten Network to see the best images and video of the Big Ten. John Crispin, a frequent tagger of at Big Ten Network.
I do every now and then. I've slowed down a bit. I do like pictures, though. Pictures are fun. It's hard to hate people for pictures.
Jaquan Lyle, tough shot, and Thompson hammered down low. Pick up Benson with a personal. That's a great point. It is difficult to hate pictures.
If you, I could say the same exact thing on Twitter as I'll say on Instagram, but if there's a picture of my smiling, friendly face, you just can't get as angry about it.
And if you throw a puppy into it, nobody can get mad.
Good luck. I used my puppy to try to calm people down on power rankings one week, and it actually worked. It was the one week where I got the least amount of hate tweets, so I should just carry the puppy with me at all times. It's all a game.
Nice pass by Skelly. And Vic Law from the baseline knocks down the jumper. Northwestern regains the lead. Cam Williams has been quiet here in the second half, taking just one shot. And a steal nearly by McIntosh. Play broke down, and finally Northwestern comes up with a loose ball. Scotty Lindsey, transition three.
That's what they do well. You have to locate shooters, particularly running the wing, because Bryant McIntosh does a great job with his head up, trying to throw that ball ahead. And Chris Collins gives these guys the green light to pull it if you've got it.
Love the reaction from Scotty Lindsey on his way back onto the defensive end, yelling out a scream. Been kind of a frustrating day, the offensive side, and here's that transition three from Lindsey.
Yeah, it starts with the throw ahead. Scotty Lindsey's not in position to shoot it when Bryant McIntosh throws it, but he knows if he kicks it ahead, he's going to give himself, or his teammate, a chance to make a shot.
There's that reaction from Scotty Lindsey. He loves playing this game. That one rims out for Thompson.
As well he should. Everybody should.
You love to see it.
I love just getting to be a part of this game, but to see the competition, to understand what goes on behind the scenes, the hard work in practice, what the entire organization does, the entire program from top to bottom does to put yourself in position to compete at this level. It's a special thing.
Double-double for Trevor Thompson. 10 points and 12 boards already. Scotty Lindsey, another open three.
Dodged a bullet there. Again, you have to trail in the hip of Scotty Lindsey, especially after he's coming off of making a three-point field goal.
Thompson down low. Tough shot. Lyle was pushed, but it was out of bounds off of Northwestern. We talked about Trevor Thompson at the beginning of the game, John, and asserting himself down low today with 10 and 12.
Well, I think he's got to do that. Yeah, it was a little too hard. That's the header from Gavin Skelly.
Jaquan Lyle thought about it for a moment, and a blocking foul on Vic Law. Law with his third personal, and that's maybe the second time he's been called on a play very similar to this.
I don't know. I think you got to be allowed to do this. I think you got to be allowed to go chest to chest if you have position. Now, I understand the freedom of movement, but I think at some point there needs to be a point of emphasis that is the freedom of contact. And if the contact is just normal basketball contact, then I think you got to learn to let it go.
Law and Lumpkin both on the bench with 3 personals.
I mean, people will bump into each other in this game. I mean, it's going to happen. And that, I actually think he slid his feet, took it chest to chest, and play on.
And Lyle knocks down a couple of free throws. 2-point game again. Fans trying to get behind the defense here for a stop.
It's been quiet, right? I don't want to critique the crowd, but it has been quiet. So whether it means Ohio State's got to do something to get this crowd back in it, or the crowd's got to help this team get back in it, something's got to change.
Been a game of runs so far. See Northwestern go on runs of 10-0, 6-0 a few different times. McIntosh, another tough teardrop, couldn't get it. And the rebound goes into the hands of Northwestern. Fresh shot clock, Isaiah Brown, short. Bodies on the floor again, and Brown is going to get the personal here. C.J. Jackson, who had to go back to the locker room earlier in the first half, got taped up. That right ankle is all taped up.
This is a freshman mistake because Isaiah Brown had a wide open 3, and instead of taking that wide open 3, he dribbles into a tougher shot.
John, here we are at 12:29 left here in the ball game, and that's already the 8th team foul against Northwestern.
Time's your flight?
Which one?
I might want to look at that. We're shooting foul shots this early. Wrestling might get put on hold.
Wrestling's following our ball game here. And C.J. Jackson.
Oh, it's good to remember C.J. Jackson limped off the court. They actually helped him out back to the locker room. Good to see him back out here. Looks like he's got tape on his right ankle. Goes halfway up his leg.
See if McIntosh tries to exploit that with some speed. Nice pass by Brown and Parton on the other end of it.
That is two-sided execution, meaning that there's no help on either side because of the down screen actions on both sides of the floor. One side's going to be camouflage, but the other side's going to get yourself a scoring opportunity.
It's a fun lineup for Northwestern to watch offensively with McIntosh and Brown on the floor at the same time. 2-point lead by Northwestern, but some nice feeds from Brown to Parton.
Look, this is what you do. There's action on both sides of the floor, so there's no backside help. Dump down, easy throw down. Take that right now. I wasn't even a twinkle in my parents' eye in '77. My brother wasn't.
Nor was I or my sister.
I'd just gotten into college for all I know.
Thad Matta on the left, Chris Collins on the right. Both great coaches in this conference. Thad Matta with 10-plus conference wins for 11 straight years.
It's remarkable. In this conference, the only other stat that jumps out to me that's better than that is that 16 years in a row, Wisconsin's finished 4th or better in this conference. 16 years. That's not even the type of team that you think of as being elite.
Gavin Skelly knocks down a 3 to regain the lead for the Wildcats.
I mean, if you said Michigan State, probably, yeah, I get it. Wisconsin. And not the two straight Final Four teams.
Foul on the drive. Jaquan Lyle is going to pick up the 10th team foul. And there's Thad Matta. He's only lost one time against Northwestern. Is today the day?
I was going to say, my mother's the one who, guys, 1 for 10. She's the ultimate optimist. He's due. So Northwestern's due, right? Haven't won since 77 in this, not even in this building, obviously, in Columbus.
It has not been a happy flight back to Chicago for Northwestern. 1 out of 2 there for Lyle. McIntosh with 3 fouls. That's the 3rd Northwestern player with 3 personals, joining Lon Lumpkin. Scotty Lindsey. McIntosh with a good look at 3, short. And Pardon runs down another offensive rebound.
It's just amazing how many offensive rebounds this Northwestern team gets. And again, go back to the ball movement and the pressure they put you under around the perimeter.
They have 14, and they have yet to really take advantage of it. Of those 14 second chance opportunities, they've only scored 8 points. Wild drives, and a good rebound by Law. A couple of Buckeyes were on the floor. Numbers, and a good dump off to Pardon, but he lost the handle on it. A rare turnover for Northwestern, just their 5th.
Yeah, rare turnover, great opportunity missed, but credit Trevor Thompson for coming back on defense, sprinting back, at least applying some pressure when the ball has an opportunity to get to the rim.
2-point game, just over 10 minutes to play. Jayshawn Tate, more ball fakes, and a push on Ohio State. Going the other way, they'll get Trevor Thompson pushing the back, his 2nd personal. Ohio State in the double bonus. They've got 2 free throws from here on out.
I like this extended pressure, too. Just take Northwestern, and he ran. He can't move. He's going to try to say, I got 2 steps, right? No, he can't run with it. Not a made basket. That's just simple. My bad. My bad. We all make mistakes. Here he goes. 1, 2. Yep. Yep, I would say he moved.
Reset the headband, and here we go again. Chance to tie or take the lead for the Buckeyes. Still waiting for this crowd to kind of get behind this game. Lyle, a nice move. Nearly turned it over.
3 seconds.
And a 3-second violation. And the steps from Skelly on the other end don't cost Northwestern.
You always have to look for that when a play breaks down, because big guys tend to become an outlet. When the play breaks down, both bigs, Jayshawn Tate being one of them, and Trevor Thompson, look to seal, make something happen. They just got caught in the paint.
Ohio State's done a better job here in the second half of hanging on to the basketball. Just 2 turnovers in this second half of basketball.
Well, Northwestern's not going to force a ton of turnovers, but they're not going to give you anything easy either.
Goes back to that defensive philosophy we talked about at the top of the broadcast, John. Pardon saved it. 4 to shoot. Law going around the edge. Tough shot, and C.J. Jackson with a rebound.
The defensive philosophy, I mean, is similar to what Ohio State did just there. Wow. Ankle breaker, and he gets it to go. Sure, if Vic Law slipped or got crossed up a little bit here, we're going to see it. I mean, he just gets turned around. Yeah, he slipped a little bit. I think that's a 2. Still, for Ohio State, it was good to actually hear the crowd lift up a little bit.
Mike Eads confirming with the official score on the far side. It was indeed a long 2. Foot was on the line. 9th tie of the ball game. Harden, top of the key, short. And now a chance to take the lead for the Buckeyes.
I think that's a shot that Derek Parton has to continue to take, but has to start to make.
C.J. Jackson. There's the crowd. Timeout, Northwestern. Tuesday, Mello Trimble and the 25th ranked Maryland Terrapins host Rutgers. Then Penn State travels to Madison to take on the 17th ranked Badgers. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern Tuesday night. Presented by Quicken Loans on BTN and BTN to go. Pat Fitzgerald still here. Head coach of the Northwestern Wildcats. That is programmed to another bowl game this year. It's a 5-point lead for Ohio State, and they're getting the crowd back into this one.
I was going to say, he's sitting like a popcorn toss away from the student section. Not sure how that would go.
He might go office linebacker on a couple of people.
Just stiff arm a few kids.
He's classy individual, Pat Fitzgerald. Waiting for Vic Law to really come alive offensively. He's been quiet. Scotty Lindsey, tough shot, had it altered and a jump ball. Possession's going to stay with Northwestern. Clean block by Jayshawn Tate.
Yeah, that's a read that Bryant McIntosh makes really well. You've got multiple defenders going with you. You have to look for the guy trailing the play. Bryant McIntosh, top of the key, was wide open.
Ready to shoot, McIntosh. Tough shot. And Thompson skies for yet another rebound, number 13.
He's been active. He really has been active because he's been forced into ball screen situations on the defensive end. Then he's got to crash down and get defensive rebounds.
Is he a guy in the conference, John, that people should be talking more about?
I think he needs to do more for this team. And yes, we will be talking more about him. He's got the potential to be a high-level player.
And an unforced error by C.J. Jackson. It's a 3-point lead for Ohio State. Thad Matta trying to keep the intensity with a bucket.
Transition and have that transition flow right into their offense. Allowing the defense to get set is making it easy for whoever's on defense tonight. Or today, whatever the heck this game is going on.
Depends on where you're watching it.
As for you people in London. That was my British accent, apparently.
That was impressive. I challenge you to do a whole game in that accent, John. Scotty Lindsey. 4 points here in the second half. 6 to shoot. And now they'll have 4 seconds to shoot as Cam Williams deflected it out of bounds.
As a defense, if you could force a late shot clock attack, you've done your job. The next thing is just hope it doesn't go in and rebound.
Not a bad play drawn up, and Scotty Lindsey pays it off.
Oh, give and go, a little soccer action there. I like that.
Seven minutes to play here in Columbus. Lyle posting up. Jayshawn Tate trying to go strong in a nice defensive effort that time by Lumpkin, playing with 3 fouls. And an offensive foul drawn by Tate on the other end.
Tate had his mind made up. He literally says, I am going to be in position, and yeah, I'm going to take this offensive foul. Beat him to the spot.
There's a touch of acting there, but he was in very good position. He picks up the 4th personal on Vic Law.
But it's not the acting that picked up the foul. No. It's the position that got the foul, and a little bit of a chicken wing from Vic Law. Wasn't a bad chicken wing, but extended just enough.
Down low, and Tate was real far underneath the bucket, but Parton picks up the personal, kind of bailed him out. third personal for Pardon, and he joins a long list of Wildcats in foul trouble. Law with 4, McIntosh with 3, Lumpkin with 3, and now Pardon with 3. And Tate misses the first free throw. This is about an area for Jayshawn Tate that he needs to improve his foul shooting. He's got a good stroke, but he misses 2 big ones there.
It's amazing how much foul shooting is mental. I know a lot of high-level three-point shooters who just cannot make foul shots. It's just a mental thing.
And Ohio State's going to have to make their free throws here down the stretch. They're 10 of 15 in the second half, and they're in the double bonus. Scotty Lindsey, tough 3. And C.J. Jackson pulls in the rebound. Looks like Northwestern forcing things a little bit too much on the offensive end.
Well, they're just not getting good shots, so you have to credit the defense of the Buckeyes first and foremost.
C.J. Jackson with really good minutes today. Had to come back onto the floor after tweaking his ankle. Press court pass, Tate from the baseline. Not a bad look, though. Lindsey down low to Pardon. He's got size on Tate. Lumpkin put the ball on the floor and able to get a bucket out of it. Nice experience there by Lumpkin.
That's like the Euro pump fake, where they go all the way up on their tippy toes, sell the shot, good one-dribble pull-up. I think Northwestern offensively has to make quicker decisions. The ball's got to move a little bit quicker. You got to put the ball on the deck quicker and be more assertive.
8th lead change in this game. And a foul on Northwestern's Derek Pardon as we go back to Sanjay Lumpkin.
Oh, I think he raised up. I think he raised up on that one. I think his tippy toes came off the ground. Forget the Euro. You could slide a mini phone book under there, like a small town phone book.
4th personal on Derek Pardon. Lumpkin.
People from my town, excuse me, they know exactly what I'm talking about. The Pittman phone book is about 5 pages thick. And it still exists. There's still a phone book in town.
Take another look.
Let's watch it. Oh, he left his feet.
He's definitely airborne.
I got friends who can't jump that high, so he definitely left his feet.
You're sitting next to one of them. Pardon on the bench with 4 personals. He and Vic Law on the bench. Big free throws for Ohio State. Thompson makes 1 out of 2.
That's a big basket, too. They really struggled to score, get anything going. Pardon with the foul trouble. Excuse me. Pardon with the foul trouble. That's an issue. Ball with a small lineup here. You got to see if you can use Gavin Skelly to space the floor. Maybe get something going from 3.
McIntosh being D'd up by Jayshawn Tate. Doing a good job. Isaiah Brown off the mark and a foul down low. It's going to stay with Northwestern. And they'll pick up Potter, and that is his 4th.
I got to tell you, I watched the Northwestern bench there, and as soon as, because first off, Ohio State is switching everything. So they're switching everything. Tell you got Jayshawn Tate defending very well, Bryant McIntosh, but when Isaiah Brown got the ball on Cam Williams, the entire Northwestern bench said clear and go. That means go at Cam Williams. So let's see what they do if they get that switch again. Chris Collins wants him to drive and attack.
Thompson back on the floor after about a 30-second break. He's played quality minutes here this afternoon. Scotty Lindsey for 3. Got it. Big shot for the Wildcats.
Cannot get hung up on a screen if you're covering Scotty Lindsey. Scotty Lindsey didn't even get a good pass. He got a bad pass. The ball bounced. And he still had time to get that shot up. That's just weak defense.
19 points for Scotty Lindsey. Jayshawn Tate spinning around Lumpkin. Nice move by the junior. Under 4 to play. isolating Isaiah Brown. Tough shot. Wow, what a play by Isaiah Brown with a fist pump to end it.
Wow, don't even think that Cam Williams didn't play good defense on that play. He played great defense. He locked down, stayed on the floor, walled up. Sometimes better offense wins.
Tip of the cap if you're Cam Williams.
He's not tipping his cap, I'll tell you.
Ohio State slowing things down here with Mark Loving, 7 to shoot. And a steal. Isaiah Brown going the other way. Got to be careful with the trailer. Two really nice possessions for the freshman Isaiah Brown. And Thad Matta wants a timeout. 5-point lead for Northwestern. Isaiah Brown, the freshman, taking charge.
Not too often Isaiah Brown's going to get a clear out and go, but he got one to go on one end. Other end picks up a steal. Easy layup. Northwestern back up.
Northwestern on the road trying to find a win here in Columbus for the first time since 1977. And Isaiah Brown with our Motors Insurance Group drive to the hoop. That last steal and layup.
I was going to put 50 on it as he's in transition. Then Mark Loving was going to take this one away. He just got that thing to go.
Trying to keep his focus sitting in front of those
50.
Zubas.
Yeah, those Zubas are awesome. Seriously.
Morris would be very proud of those Zubas pants.
Proud parents there. The investment is well worth it. Kid's got a perfect SAT score, too.
Perfect pants. Cam Williams has been quiet in the second half, had it stripped away. Vic Law on the floor with 4 fouls, and coming back, Jaquan Lyle with a strip of his own.
Vic Law's entire bench was yelling, behind, behind. He just didn't believe him.
McIntosh ended up on his backside as Jayshawn Tate hits a 3. And McIntosh feeling the effects of getting thrown to the floor. Scally, open look. Too strong. Thompson with another rebound, his 15th. Chance to tie or take the lead for Ohio State.
Interesting lineup with Jaquan Lyle off the ball. C.J. Jackson doing the majority of the ball handling.
Tate going baseline. And he was fouled. There's a reason why he didn't elevate enough to throw it down.
Probably got held a little bit on the way up, but the good ball movement, the swing to the corner. No.
Two big free throws coming for Tate. Missed 2 his last time to the line. He's got a team leading 13 points.
Actually, the Tate three-pointer that they weren't looking at. That's the obvious 3. That was the one McIntosh took quite a hit. He went down hard.
So Tate at the line. And he misses the first. Our Motel sixth man of the game today, C.J. Jackson, 7 points. Career high, 6 rebounds and a couple of assists. What a big first half. In for Jaquan Lyle, who got 2 quick fouls. Lyle has not committed one since. Tate makes 1 out of 2. It's a 1-point game. Good switch by Ohio State. Good move by McIntosh. Lost on the way up with a foul. Mike Eads on the call. Fans didn't like it. pick up Jaquan Lyle with his third.
Ohio State's done a good job staying at home, not allowing these back cuts to dictate what they do defensively. Good position, staying at home. Jaquan Lyle just got beat there and got his hand caught in the cookie jar.
Just a little bit of a reach there. That's all it takes. Cam Williams getting ready to check in, as well as Derek Carden with those 4 fouls. Vic Law's on the floor with 4 fouls too. McIntosh 91% from the free throw line. Pat Fitzgerald liking what he's seeing here, trying to snap this long losing streak in the city of Columbus for Northwestern. To play.
For Ohio State, you want to look to attack. You don't want to spend 30 seconds getting nothing, then having to force up a bad shot with 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Look to make something happen right away.
Lyle thought about it momentarily, fades away, tough shot, no, and the rebound doesn't matter. There's going to be a foul underneath, and they're picking up Jayshawn Tate with his 4th personal. Trying to get position down low, and more free throws coming for Northwestern.
Just trying to keep a possession alive, but you have to credit Northwestern for staying in position to rebound the ball in the defensive end. I mean, here, Sanjay Lumpkin gets a little bit of a shove. This is hard. If anything, I think it's just a push from behind more so than an over the back. You're allowed to go over someone's back. Trust me, I know, I've been on the wrong side of that one 90% of my career. You're allowed to jump over someone's back, but you can't make contact.
Speaking of those small phone books trying to jump over, Lumpkin makes the first. It's a really good free throw shooting team, 76% coming in. They're now 6 of 7 in the second half for Northwestern. Way to close out a game. Make your free throws.
Make your free throws and play good position defense, which is something that this Northwestern team has done very well.
5-point lead. Williams for 3. Too strong, and a strong board by Lumpkin. Tate tried to strip it away. And McIntosh fouled by Jaquan Lyle. That's his 4th.
For Northwestern, it really comes down to getting the ball in the right guy's hands. Now, you're a good free throw shooting team, but you've got to think that you want it in the hands of 91%, Bryant McIntosh.
This has been a series dominated by Ohio State. 169th meeting. The Buckeyes have won 123 of those games. They've won 12 in a row.
God, 1977, man.
It's a long time.
Tex Winter, the head coach of that team.
6-0 run right now, all on free throws for Northwestern. February 24th, 1977. Last win in Columbus for Northwestern. And nearly a turnover. Ohio State's got to go. Good defense there. And wow, what a shot by Lyle. Timeout by Ohio State. And Jaquan Lyle with Vic Law all up in his grill. Still knocks down the 3.
Those are just the head scratchers for both sides. You know, you finally get one to go, and it's probably the toughest shot you've made all night. And defensively, you can't do it any better. If you're Chris Collins, you look at it and say, good defense, Vic Law. Nothing more you can do. Good job not fouling, but contested level the ball.
3 of 7 from beyond the arc for Jaquan Lyle today. Don't forget, coming up next, it's Big Ten Wrestling when Northwestern hosts number 13 Michigan. Coverage starts next, presented by Cliff Keen Athletic on BTN and BTN to go. Four-point lead for Northwestern. Got to believe fouls are coming from Ohio State. You worry about foul trouble. Tate with 4, Lyle with 4.
Well, I like what Ohio State's doing, not putting someone on the ball. And if so, you're going to take the first pass away. Now they're going to go right to it.
Didn't call the foul, and now finally Mark Loving gives up the personal foul. That's just his 2nd.
See, I'm not a fan of putting someone on the ball right there, because if you have a good passer out of bounds and someone's able to get open, it's easy to get that pass in. Unless you're planning to double right away, And it wasn't much of a double, allowing Bryant McIntosh to dribble right out of it.
And again, McIntosh, 91% from the free throw stripe coming in. He's perfect from the line today.
You had to say it, didn't you? That's so on you. That is all on you.
Sorry, B-Mick, my bad. He's now 6 of 7. Northwestern still with 2 timeouts. Both teams in the double bonus. 1 timeout left for Ohio State. That's a big miss for McIntosh.
The other thing you got to be concerned with if you're Northwestern is fouling. You want to concede certain shots, but you don't want it to be too easy.
Micah Potter, good ball fake. 3-pointer. Got it! 2-point game. Micah Potter, that's why he's on the floor to knock that shot down.
And I've seen this all afternoon. The Northwestern coach is saying, stay down. Why are we trying to block shots from 30 feet away from the basket? There's no reason. The flyby, this isn't Top Gun. Look, here comes a flyby. And Micah Potter, who's a very good three-point shooter, is able to step into one. Northwestern's been doing that a lot. That's not something they normally do. More of a safe defense team. Contest shots, level the ball. No need to over-contest and fly by. But right now, Ohio State's giving themselves a chance
To snap that streak.
Hey, these kids are not thinking about that. They're not sitting there going, hey, guys, 1977, man.
No, they're not, but they're thinking about their 5th conference win. It's a big win.
That's a little more relevant. It's a big deal to us. It's a long time to not come here to Columbus and win a basketball game. Let's see, you got Bryant McIntosh off the ball. You got 3 on the other side.
Get it in the hands of Scotty Lindsey, and some pressure in the backcourt, of course. Vic Law gets it across the half-court line, and Vic Law with 2 big free throws coming. He's yet to take a foul shot in this game. C.J. Jackson picks up the personal.
That's a good job defensively of at least forcing it back out of Bryant McIntosh's hands and not allowing the throw ahead, which could have led to an easy layup for Gavin Skelly. Not to mention Vic Law not at the foul line yet today.
He's got 8 points. He's just 4 of 13 from the floor. And Law nets the first one. 70% free throw shooter on the season. Lumpkin and Pardon come in. Brown checks out. Skelly checks out.
I don't care what your percentage says you are. It all matters upon what you do in this type of situation. That's a different percentage.
2 for 2 for Vic Law. 4-point game. Deshaun Tate hands it off. Williams, tough and contested. And a chance for a 3-point play. There was a foul on the backside of Mark Loving.
Just some things you can't write. I mean, an absolute air ball. Sometimes bad shots or bad misses are the easiest ones to offensive rebound. And air ball, and Scotty Lindsey just got draped on the shoulders of Mark Loving.
It was Loving that was the hero in the ball game against Nebraska a couple of days ago. But he misses a huge free throw. Tate tried to tip it back up and in. No, Skelly with a huge rebound. Lindsey with the basketball, and he's fouled. 5 seconds ago, and Gavin Skelly pounding his chest. That was a huge rebound.
Huge rebound, but you got to credit Deshaun Tate for just keeping that thing alive. He realized he did not have an opportunity to corral that rebound. So what he did was just keep that second chance opportunity alive, and Gavin Skelly coming up with it and doing the best job of getting the heck rid of it.
Down to the hands of Scotty Lindsey. Northwestern 9 of 10 from the free throw line in the last minute and 19 seconds. Don't forget wrestling coming up after us. As Lindsey knocks down the first, it's available now on BTN to go. Michigan at Northwestern. 3-point lead for the Wildcats.
They made foul shots down the stretch here, too. I mean, you have Bryant McIntosh stepping up there knocking down foul shots. Sanjay Lumpkin stepped up and knocked down foul shots. Vic Law, 2 big foul shots. Now Scotty Lindsey, an opportunity to make this a 2-possession game.
This is the one that matters most for Scotty Lindsey. And he drained it. No iron whatsoever. And Chris Collins going to call timeout with 5.4 seconds to go and a 4-point lead on the road at Ohio State.
And I like this timeout because Chris Collins, yes, you're giving Thad Matta an opportunity to draw up a play, but you're also establishing what we need to do and what we're not going to do, particularly after you gave up that potential three-point play opportunity for Mark Loving.
Scotty Lindsey's had a great ball game today, 21 points. Did it in the first half, did it in the second half, and in a number of different ways, too.
He's just been a game changer. You know, he's a tough matchup because what do? Do you put your best defender on Scotty Lindsey? Do you put him on Brian McIntosh? Or do you put him on Vic Law? All guys that could go for 20 on any given night. I think at some point, people are going to start looking at Scotty Lindsey the way they look at someone like Peter Jock. I'm not saying he is Peter Jock, but you have to take away his shot first. He's such a threat. And he changes the game when he makes shot from the perimeter.
Ohio State fans, excuse me, trying to will this team to a win, but they're kind of shell-shocked right now.
He did a lot of good things to get back into this game. Some big shots, some fortuitous bounces. But Northwestern, again, when you make your foul shots down the stretch, you give yourself the best opportunity. 11 of 12 from the free throw line to close this thing out. That would be the biggest difference between Northwestern of the past and Northwestern this year. And I think there's a lot of Northwestern fans out there that would be happy to hear those numbers, that they're making shots when it matters most. And as much as they struggled in the second half to score the basketball, their defense kept them in it, and then making foul shots wins you games.
Just 32% from the floor for Northwestern in the second half. The foul shots were huge. Here's Micah Potter. Time winding down. His three is no good, and that will end the ball game, I believe, unless there was a foul. Foul down low
on the floor.
Mike Eads blew the whistle.
Chris Collins just saying, get away from him. Like, what are you doing? Why are we touching it? Keep your hands to yourself. Look, that's a moment where you have to understand time and score. You just came out of a timeout, guys. We're not going to extend this game. If a shot goes up, let it go. And here you see the pass blocking from Sanjay Lumpkin. It's a foul. It's a foul. These are the things that give teams opportunities to stay in games.
Well, there's no way that Ohio State could tie it from that close. You're down by 4.
No, they can't. They barely get a shot up.
Just stay away from it. Well, either way, they're going to put some time back on the clock. They put 1 second back on. That seems like a lot of time.
That seems like a lot more. I thought it was like 0.3 or 0.4. It's when the hand goes up. We're going to find out.
Mike Eads coming over to the table, but it is a 4-point lead right now for Northwestern.
Go back and put the time on the clock for the actual foul curve.
Mike Eads telling us that. What did he tell you, John?
Got it right. By rule, clock goes off. We look at the monitor, find out how much time is left when the foul occurred. He's shooting the foul shot with 1.0 seconds left.
So these are 2 big free throws for Jayshawn Tate. After Vic Law.
It's the right call, too. There's a lot of people saying, why do you call that? Why call that? Well, because it's a foul.
Yeah, they gave Law the foul. I didn't think he was near the play. It looked like it was going to be on Lumpkin.
The foul was on Lumpkin.
Here's Tate, 1 for 4 from the foul line today. And he missed the first.
Oh, and that was a make the first, miss the second, tip it out. And here it is. There's your foul. It's foul.
It's on Lumpkin.
At this point, don't touch anybody.
Tried to miss. Potter, I don't know why the time didn't start. I believe they're going to count the bucket, and it will. And that's your final score. Northwestern wins in Columbus for the first time since 1977. And they beat Ohio State on the road 74-72. And this outstanding start for Chris Collins and the Wildcats continues in Big Ten play. They're now 5-10. And they were 5-2, excuse me. And they continue to make foul shots down the stretch. They made 11 of 12 to put this one on ice for the Wildcats. And Chris Collins is going to be very pleased to finally send one of his clubs back home in the university's home. Back with a win for the first time since 1977. McIntosh finished with 17 points. Scotty Lindsey with 21 to lead the Wildcats to victory in the city of Columbus, in a really cool moment between Pat Fitzgerald giving a bear hug to Chris Collins.